Okay, let's get rolling. Clearing the login rewards here. Basically just trying to get to 5 of everything, which I guess the next thing is 6 of everything, because that's what you need for rank 4. Who's my next rank 4? No idea. Whatever, that's easy enough to get. Let's just bring skill up since it's in the rear right now. Alright, and let's get the Crucible done. I hate how these things pop up, not only after they're claimed, but like a full day after the session in which I did them. Nope, that's not what I'm trying to click on. Wish those icons were a little more different. Ah. Aiden, I'm sorry to hear you're sick. Is it also COVID? It's really been going around, if so. But I hope you are otherwise doing okay. Oh, this is... Okay, it's that really annoying Joker, or Vulture. Oh, why my mind went to Joker. But this one doesn't have the electric defense. We could play a bit differently, but it's probably still Hulkling. I guess we could do CGR. That's simple enough. Suspecting strep throat. Ah. That also sucks. Hope it doesn't last long. Don't care about the decks because we need to do this anyway. There we go. Hey, frequency. Oof. Yeah, that's a lot. It's also hitting energy. I guess if you're saying nope confidently, then you probably tested negative for COVID. Wiccan would definitely work. Longshot is who I used on the main. This might be a fun Man-Thing fight. Let's go off the beaten path a little. I probably will for the Rhino buff. Yeah, it's different enough. That would make sense. I wasn't really thinking about it ahead of time. There we go. Oops. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it's interesting. I think of him as a little more as a defender, personally, but like there's definitely some attacker sauce. I think he can still crit. He just can't boost his crit rating. Have I ever worked on a champ with another designer? Not really. Um, Vega was involved in the early stages of Kushala, and we kind of bounced ideas back and forth. Um, and famously, I gave him the inspiration for her Sig, allowing her to apply passives. But he wasn't like, and he's been the first to say he wasn't really designing her the same way. He wasn't, yeah. So that doesn't really count. Plus, his job title isn't champion designer, nor does he work for Kabam. So I don't think that's what you meant. Internally, there was a QA analyst that shadowed me on Deathless She-Hulk and did some of the work and like guided some of the playtests. So that's the closest I've literally gone. But that still wasn't like a full co-op design, so still not quite what I imagine you mean. I've never really like evenly or close to evenly split the responsibilities and the direction the way that like Kabam Sate did with Nah on Dazzler. Hey, Needles. Oh, I didn't look ahead this time. So no Sig on this dorm, which means it's just an unstoppable sometimes Dormammu. Why not? Oh, the 2-star doesn't have the self synergy, does it? Oh, that's really funny. Come on, buddy. Don't do this. Thank you. Alright, wake up. Hit me. Yeah, Solvark is rather binary. Insert star joke here. Where they work very well. Yeah, I think it would pretty easily work in Yellow Jacket's kit. Shock means strife to me. Not likely to use them anywhere else. Let's do it. I should really be campaigning for us to add Grey Gargoyle to the game so I can finish Bullsworthy. And the funny thing is, I don't know anything about Grey Gargoyle other than the fact that he was involved in that event. And if you read the mainline story, he doesn't even show up. They're just like, Paris is a bloodbath. Everyone's dead. And it's like, okay, this Grey Gargoyle guy must be kind of strong. And that's all. They never show anything. I don't even know what he looks like. Let's use Spider-Man just to turn off Limber. Gotcha. That's kind of interesting. What's the origin of Grey Gargoyle as a character? Okay, this is dumb. I'm gonna use an unleveled Absorbing Man because it really should be that easy. Just here to have fun. Nice, Elijah. Good luck. Chemist Freak Lab accident gave him the ability to turn his body into living stone, turn others to stone. Yeah, I had picked up on the stone powers. Right, Chum the Waters. I remember this one. Also sounds fun. Lady Bullseye? Sounds a little bit further down the list than a number of others. I'm gonna be honest. So what's the appeal for you, Aiden? Because you said, please do all caps. What's the connection to the character? Okay, here's where we'll use Wiccan. I actually thought that I had slow played that enough that corruption was gonna apply because I wanted it to. Foresight on thing is just rude. Don't really have a lot of defensibility accuracy reduction in the 2-star area, so I'm just gonna try Night Thrasher. Graviton's still number 1. Yeah, that makes sense. But my question is, why is he in your top 10? I forgot which one was Disorient. I always do. Good old thing. That was a weird amount of lag. Alright. Perfect. Whoops. That Disorient is not really doing enough work here. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, Wiccan is very good. Oh, TC. We did playtest them separately, so it may be that the other node that was on the main one didn't make sense that way. Or it might be that just when they were copied down here, by default, they had SIGs. Somebody wasn't watching closely. Anywho, damaging debuffs. You're going to have to be way more specific than that, TC. That's not quite specific enough, TC. And I realize you tried, but like can't combo isn't really precise language. Like, do you mean that you are having trouble chaining it from a combo? Do you mean that the second hit whiffs? Like, what are you trying to say? Okay, that is... We generally don't call that comboing in this case. I understand what you're trying to say. So that would be this... Love that interaction. Yeah, the technical term is first hit doesn't have enough hit stun, maybe, but saying that they can block the second hit is enough for me. Okay, so then my question is, why are you asking me what's up if you're trying to tell me what's up? Like, what answer are you expecting when you're saying what's up with it? Like, are you expecting me to go, yeah, actually, we just wanted him to suck if you threw the special 2 in the middle of the map. That was completely intentional and, get lost. Like, obviously it's a bug. Report it. Why are you asking me what's up? So the reason unable to combo doesn't make sense to me is that if you're in another game, like Combo refers to multiple inputs, right? Um, and so like it makes total sense where because that is basically the same thing, right? If two attacks in Mortal Kombat or something can't combo, what you're saying is the hit stun from the first attack isn't long enough to allow you to land the second attack before the other person can take action, right? And so that is the same thing here. The difference is when you're talking about that in Mortal Kombat, you are making multiple inputs. And that is very different than in our game. When you throw a special attack, that is a single input that then results in multiple hit events, right? Yeah, exactly, Elijah. So like you wouldn't say even in another fighting game that something is unable to combo if a single input gets blocked halfway through. Like that is always going to be an error because if you only did one input and the first part lands, the rest should, unless it's interrupted by something, right? That's basically always true. Yeah, but you're talking about multiple inputs. Like that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, I've seen that with Invisible Woman's. Hey, Omega. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being a member. Okay. Use Moondragon here. Also, to be clear that I'm not being dismissive, when I say just report it, it's because that's the kind of thing that isn't on my team to fix. It's not something I can fix. I don't mind being compared to that particular version of Cyclops. And yeah, it's definitely been a good year for a lot of those champs. Yeah, and that's fair, TC. And I don't want to over police your language. Because it would have been clear to me if you had said, like, hey, if you throw Voodoo's Special 2 in the middle of the field, then the second hit can be blocked. Why does that happen? But I'm not trying to enforce perfection on exactly how people ask me questions. So that's, I'm not going to say you just should have done that. I'm letting you know that that would have been closer and I would have gotten the point faster. But yeah, I think it was fair for me to make light fun of what's up. But I'm not upset with you or anything. I appreciate it, Frequency. I definitely get where Aiden's coming from. I think I'll follow up with another. Like, yes, the first question is, can you awaken Modoc if you take it? The second question is, do you spend on the game and how often, right? Because if you spend regularly, then I would take Modoc regardless, because you're more likely to pick up an Awakening Gem later, and you're more likely to spend on some kind of champion selector that's gonna get you Patriot, right? Um, Whereas if you don't spend it all, then I think I probably agree with Aiden because Modoc is good and is a solid defender, but does want the gem to be dangerous. And Patriot is significantly better unduped now after the buff, and it's really hard to pull someone from the base pool. I wasn't putting emphasis on today, TC. You know what's funny about Superior and Iron Man's pre-fights? When it says the first buff will be an armor up, it says it's a guarantee. Technically, it's not. To be clear, it is a very, very, very high chance. It's just the way that Superior Iron Man works, it's technically not a guarantee. So if you ever see somebody go, I used the pre-fight and it wasn't the first buff, that's why. And sorry, but that was as close as we could come without basically rewriting the kit to make the pre-fights work. I have, Aiden. About what we expected. Like, it's not always gonna work, but we knew what he was capable of. Huh, I don't have a 3-star Thanos. How about that? I think it's just a coin flip, Indigo. Or, oh, no, you're right. It does say something about that. Oh, I'm not logged into the code right now. I appreciate the reminder. That would have been worth restarting for. Thanks, Tyler. Well, I hope you're getting something out of Joaquin right now, because I do think that he's a bit underrated. But yeah, I can definitely understand being excited about him getting a bit better. What was I looking at? That's right. Well, that's just unacceptable. Gladiator Hulk's code is tagged by Gladiator and Glad, not by Glad Hulk, not by Gulk. But now it is. Okay. Sig. La da 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 da. Oh, that's why. Because I was just adding that to Gladiator's code. Because where is Gladiator Hulk? Oh, he's probably in here as Hulk Ragnarok, isn't he? There he is. Amazing. Okay. La da doo 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 doo. Huh. That's kind of interesting. That's actually a pretty good way to do it. Without fully leaking things, basically it is random, but it's also tracking who gets hit more. Hey, Dilly. Odin is absolutely better for this fight. I know. Whoops. Okay, that was dumb. What is that cat touching me? I guess she has a short dash back. Alright, reset. You mind? Whoops. All right. I do think it's possible frequency. I would rather we have gotten Madeline than two Phoenixes. At least Madeline has the opportunity to be a different class. I personally wish we hadn't gotten two cosmic variations on Jean in the same year. Yes, I know Phoenix was already in the game, but y'all know exactly what I mean. Oh, TC, that's because of the Saga boost. I wasn't crushing that dex. I was just untouchable for the entire thing. The special 2 is possible, but I had a massive piece of help. Hey, Stig. Am I a hugger or a hearty handshake? Depends on the other person. Um, I was raised by a military grandfather, so I have a good handshake and I'm happy to use it, but I will hug people who are huggers. I will not go for a hug first if I don't know you well, though. Hey, Punjabi. Like I said, TC, I wouldn't go for it at first. Not necessarily saying no longer term. Ooh, yeah, let's do this. Have I been hope I've been working out? A little bit. Hoping to get more in before November. Yeah, I don't think I'll have caught up to them by then. Oh, and this isn't aimed at any of you fine people, but because this is a gaming context, I do have to say, I fully reserve the right to not hug anyone who doesn't wash enough. Bzz. Hey, Snoops. How's it going, man? Actually, even on the handshake note, I'm just gonna say it. I really hope none of y'all are the kind of adult man that doesn't wash their hands in the bathroom. That stuff is way too common, and it's unacceptable. Perfect timing. It's an MCOC, not a Yu-Gi-Oh convention. Oh. Again, I'm sure most of y'all take care of yourself. I'm not gonna assume it about everybody who shows up to Summoners Fest. I work as a casino night guard and it's scarily common. Yeah. The thing for me is sporting events and concerts. Like, both of those are outdoor events. Even if they weren't, like, even when it's indoor concerts, like, you're surrounded by a bunch of other people. It's sweaty. How can you possibly not? Like, when I'm out at an event like that, if I just, like, I will sometimes just wash my hands to wash my hands, right? Like, before I eat, even if I haven't used the restroom. I don't understand how anyone can go into the restroom, use it, and not immediately wash their hands. Like, ugh. And that was true before the pandemic. How did you live through that generational trauma with the rest of us and not figure this out? Doesn't make sense, man. Yeah, see, that's Dilly. Dilly touched on it too. Like, I'm fine being a little bit on the germaphobe scale if I was paying more attention to it than you before. But, like, especially since. Jesus. Same, Omega. I wash my hands constantly when I'm cooking. I'll rinse off spatulas after the raw meat step. I wash the scissors after I open things with them. Like, uh, I don't understand. Don't pee on your hand. That is not enough, Elijah. That is not enough. Yeah, Snoops, I hear that. It's not okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Stereotyping was one time and the community will never live it down. It is not unique to Yu-Gi-Oh! I have been at Magic the Gathering events where that is a thing. Honestly, there was a little bit of it at Battle Realm Brawl last time. I'm not naming names, but we're not immune. Sorry, one second. My wires got a little crossed. I've heard it's terrible at Comic-Con, etc. Yeah, Fan Expo, that makes sense. The trash can is too far away. I feel that one. I work in a kitchen. I'm used to washing my hands every 7 milliseconds. Yup. Yeah. I understand you, Dilly, but like raw beef still has that for me. It's not even the urine that spreads the germs. That part's just gross. Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't really care if I get COVID from touching somebody's hand after they peed on it. I just don't want to. Yeah, the steps on doors are thankfully more common these days, and it's very nice. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, Punjabi. Not something I do much, but I can understand that you want to be very careful with it. That was very rude. Not cool, Felicia. Back up, please. Oh, you know what? She even did. That was my fault. That's fine. Didn't lose it. Oh, I was a little too slow. Nah, that one was 100% my fault. Should I log my whole Magic the Gathering Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card collection that I haven't touched in 20 years? Oh, I don't know that I would ever have the patience to log the whole thing, but I would run through it and see if there was anything that looked like it might be valuable. I called out a friend for it once, and he was like, I know her. Nope. Nope. No. Absolutely freaking not. That's not your call to make, bro. You're touching other people's stuff. God. Even if you live completely alone and never interact with anyone else, it's gross. But consent is important, everybody. Yeah, I'm sure, Snoops. Either go through my whole collection or don't touch it. I mean, we're not that different, but I've learned that if I think that way, then I will just default to not doing anything. And so I would rather compromise and do a manageable task. Pennies matter, but so does my time. I'll just give the draft chaff away. I don't even think this is the first time that we've endorsed consent on my stream stick. That's fine, TC. I don't play Mordo much, and honestly, I don't care to. Oh, so close. That is the problem with Cassie right now, isn't it? There we go. Grenaded. Don't you hear the Black Lotus calling, dude? I think that Nah, I know Morto's solid. I think it's just a matter of like return on investment. I don't think he's gonna get me enough fun plus usefulness to be worth the time I would need to put into him to feel like I was really getting more out of him than somebody else, or just like enough for it to be worth it, if that makes sense. I have nothing against him. I'm glad he is the way he is, but I don't think he's for me. No, it's not Cassie frequency. It's if you haven't heard me talk about this before, I'll take a second. What's going on is that the AI was actually bugged for a long time. Um, in that it like wasn't respecting heavy charge as an animation, I guess. But it like fixed itself, I put in quotes, at some point. And so what's happening is while you're heavy charging, the AI is seeing you as in the attack animation or an attack animation. And while you're attacking, it doesn't attack you, right? As a general rule. It backs off and tries to avoid it. That's like one of the most basic. It doesn't have a lot of intelligence. It's very, very stupid. But one of the most basic things it can do is run away when you're trying to hit it. And that's what's happening there, right? And so, like, when for some reason that rule that had always been there suddenly started working, apparently there just wasn't much we could do about it. Which stinks. But it is what it is for now. When we get AI 2.0 online, that is definitely one of the things we're fixing. I have not yet been on a Kabam live stream. No. How's it going, Ishant? Oh yeah, no, he's super fast. I'm aware of that. That doesn't change what I said. I want to give Howard a synergy at some point where he can get an armor back when he parries a special, like once per special. Not too much, but his inability to generate armors after the fight has started irks me. But we know that's not what Ashant meant, right? Like, I'm not gonna technically on something like that. When people say Kabam live stream, they mean the monthly one, not a live stream that was associated with Kabam. Are you serious, man? I know how Valkyrie works. I was not expecting that much damage. Can Mortem get one to make his steadfast not useless? I thought you just said he was an incredible Battlegrounds attacker. Does he need a better steadfast? I do understand what you're saying. Yeah, he does, Snoops. Werewolf is incredible. You're right, TC. That's a fair response. I didn't think that one through. The funny thing is that Mordo's Steadfast has literally always worked that way. It just feels worse now that we made it clear, right? Because people are like, I don't really understand how Mordo's anti-unblockable works. Can you put it on the HUD so I have some idea what's going on? And then we did, and it feels bad because it's always been a mediocre mechanic. Hey, crew cheese, how's it going, man? I'm glad it feels better to you. But that has kind of been my experience with it. It was like, yeah, I can see it. Phil sucks. Thanks, Sean. Take care, Omega. Thanks for stopping by, man. And I appreciate you being a member. I will say I like the intent behind the ability. Like, brace for impact and then you can block unblockable is cool. But it requires him to brace a little too long, right? Like, if you blocked that long, the steadfast turned on, but also if you well-timed blocked, you got it immediately. Instantly, that is a much, much better ability, right? I think that'd be a more appropriate split between how automatic it is and the ability to use it skillfully. Yes. Yes, it does, Snoops. I think this is fine, Nishant. Like, I wouldn't have been particularly bothered if it had been longer. Um, I know some people definitely would have. But, like, it doesn't feel too soon, right? I spent on Omega Days, I feel like I got my time out of them, right? I could see Heart of Fire next year on a similar thing, and I know people will expect it at exactly the same time next year because precedent. But, like, I don't think that that's really how that goes. I will say that I personally give absolutely no weight to when people were saying that it should have been at the same time as Heart of Fire because, like, I don't know, there's no moral weight to me attached to like 12 months versus 16 or 17 months, right? Like, what? You don't need that, right? So, like, it doesn't bother me at all that we've waited this long. Yeah, because there are still ones I'm missing. So, like, I'm not completely on the other side of this. But yeah, I think the important part for me is I did spend on the event, and it doesn't feel like it's been too long. And then it's just kind of like where exactly is the right spot to put it. And I think this is fine. Who do we send for defenders like Viv and Red Skull other than Scream? I mean, Gladiator can do what Scream can do too, right? Nico does work. I've seen Terax work. Shuri actually works, funnily enough, especially for Red Skull. If you get tagged, you die. But because her attacks don't make contact and it doesn't work through block, she's safe. And then Kushala is also quite reliable just because she's bleed immune and has extra ability accuracy. You just use the what's the word? The special 2 soul barb instead of the incinerates. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Hearts of Fire took longer. Like, we'll see. It kind of depends on what else happens over the next year. Oops. I always forget I need to block a couple times to get the anti-miss up. I thought that maybe if I used the boost to Dex early that I could punish, but no. Not even then. Alright, we're almost there. Okay. Weird one. Yeah, Dark Phoenix definitely counts as a trophy. I really hate how his auto block works. How does Gladiator get around the bleeds? The same way Scream does. Gladiator reduces ability accuracy for armors, and when he's duped, he starts with the Vigilance, so he has that online immediately. You do have to play pretty aggressively and or use power backs to keep the Vigilance up, but it works. Samurai's cool. He doesn't really speak to me, honestly. It's kind of a simple loop, but like the simple loop gets good damage. He looks cool. The animations are really satisfying, so like I'd be happy to grab him. And Reinforce is a good mechanic. Yeah, no problem, Snoops. No, TC. Zolo was Kabam, Samurai is Skippy. I don't know that I really buy that, Ashanth. Because let's take a minute on it, or a minute on this. This is the first mutant really countering Yelena. I know that Cassandra does it decently, but like not nearly as strong. And Cassandra was 3 months after Yelena, and then, or no, Cassandra was 4 months after Yelena, and then Samurai is 5. In the world of MCOC, that's not really different. That's not really different than 6 months, right? Because we don't really have the ability to go, okay, well, now it's going to be 6 months, because that would imply that there's a mutant next month. And I don't think it's really much of a leak for me to tell you that there is not going to be a mutant next month or the month after that, because we just had 2. And so if we don't ship a hard Yelena counter at 5 months in Samurai, then that means that the soonest we could do it is like 8 or 9 months, right? And so, like, you may feel like she's getting a hard counter too soon, but the alternative is very likely too late. And that's the kind of thing that we have to look at, right? I mean, if anybody was taking from Vincent's clues that, yes, we're going to ship, I don't know, armor for a 3rd mutant 3 3 months in a row, then that's on them. I'm pretty darn careful. I don't feel bad about this one. But I also think that, like, TC, his misspelling of serpent aside, is right. Like, if the Yelena feels like she has counters, pretty much all of them existed before she came out, right? Jean came out before Yelena. Gentle came out before Yelena. Onslaught came out way before Yelena. But the same thing was true for Serpent. Symbiote Supreme came out years before him. Kushala was already out, right? America Chavez was already out and already buffed. I don't think their like response patterns were really that different. I understand, DC. You're not alone at all. But I reserve the right to poke. Mordo was already out too, yes. I will grant that. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying about the hard counters, is that like 5 months and 6 months, given, the other factors that have to affect when champions come out in which class, is basically identical. Because, let's see, what I'm trying to remember who you're looking at for 6 months. Because that probably means you're skipping Enchantress, right? And I understand that Enchantress is a long form counter to Serpent, but she does kind of hand his butt to him. When wasn't she July? No, I guess she would have been August or September. And then it was Spiral. Oh, you're probably looking at Shothra. And that was September, right? She was September? Was Shothra October? Really? That doesn't sound right. Did we really ship Enchantress in September, Shothra in October, and Spiral in November? That can't be right. Okay, yeah. I was like, I know they were clustered, but there had to have been a break in there somewhere. Yeah. August, September, November, I think sounds more correct. Because Shothra wasn't a Halloween champion. Shothra was a Spider-Verse thing, if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, yeah, Enchantress is a good Serpent counter. She's slow for Battlegrounds, but she's fantastic everywhere else. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm not going to remember everything Glycon does. I'm just going to pull up the kit to the side. I remember roughly how the first one goes, and let's get on it. Yes, Halloween with Screaming Jack. That's right. That's where the break was. Jesus, that was too much damage. Well, that's intense. His kick there really extends far. I like how Glycon makes a new knife that he never uses. Yeah, Isofine as well. It was a lot of mystics. I'm not worried about it. We had Gentle, Jean, Cyclops, and Betsy already. It's been a good year for mutants. Thanks, Frequency. Excuse me. Yeah. The Dread Emperor Doomslap is pretty rough. It's a tough fight. I think it's gotten into a pretty good spot, but it's a tough fight. I'm not gonna hide that. Okay. Shuri for Atuma, Ebony Maw for Killmonger, Scorpion for Photon. Shuri for Atuma, Ebony Maw for Killmonger, Scorpion for Photon. Ugh. Whoops. Oh, geez. Is this you staying up and not you waking up, TC? Yes, please, go to sleep. But thanks for hanging out. Take care, man. Wait, what? It's Shuri for both of them? But I'm not on path 4. Okay, well, that's weird. Yeah. You have mentioned night shifts before, that's true. Take care. Throwing that special there was really inopportune. As was that. Oh, this is not that hard a fight. There we go. I don't think full details have been released, so that probably makes sense that there's some confusion. Oops. I was definitely thinking that the Special 2 followed the same rules as the Special 1 for some reason. That's fun. Oh, come on. And one more. Thank you. Hey, Victor. How's it going? Okay, Terrax with Absorbing Man. Doom with... And technically we already got the Shuri victory, but I'm gonna play by the rules. Scorpion is indeed very, very good. Alright, let's do this better this time, shall we? Oops. Man, I was crushing it too. Just forgot to pay attention to his hydration. First half of that fight I was proud of. I know, I should have switched. Doesn't really matter for this kind of, or for this speed. Oh, well, the reinforce is while he has more than a certain number of Daunteds, right? And Daunteds only happen when he consumes combo. It's not inevitable that he consumes combo, and once he does consume the combo to get the Daunted, you can remove the Daunted. So the reinforce is neither inevitable nor permanent. Does that make more sense? Woo, that was close. I'm sorry to hear that, Ashanth. Funnily enough, we haven't seen Kushala banned at all this season. Those things can go so differently. Am I misremembering the trigger? Let me double check, Victor. It's not impossible. I should go to bed soon, though. Oh, it is an ore, you're right. So I guess the thing then is that you don't, if you're gonna be in the fight long enough for him to, or to get to 50, then you do want him to consume some combo because you want him to gain Daunted so that you stay below 50. But then you also want to knock him down to remove the Daunteds so that he doesn't get to 8 plus, right? You have to balance the two. Or you could just use a tech champion that doesn't care about critting, and then the reinforce doesn't matter at all. But yeah, I think if you are forced into somebody is trying to stall you out with Samurai somehow, then that would be how you play around it. Okay. Spider Ham, Absorbing Man, Tiger. Yeah, Sinister is banned constantly. That one is absolutely true for us as well. Oh, that's my fault. I got greedy. Correct, Victor. Stupid. That's fine, I'm bleed immune. This ain't Battlegrounds. Oh, that was a terrible time. Missed the timer over there. But that's okay. That's enough. Like, maybe not this specifically, but right after. Yep, there we go. Interesting, that one also double counted. That's fine. I want to do it again better anyway. Hey, Bleezy, how's it going? I also miss Carl Snips. Alright, Archangel and Doom. I really don't want to fight Hulkling with Doom. It's annoying. No, I never even ascended my Archangel. That's funny. Whoops. That's out of it. Bro, I'm trying to stun you. I should have heavied again, because the falter saved me the first time. It's okay, Bishop. There's a lot going on in war. It takes a while to get used to it. Why would it mean that, Victor? The whitelist are champions you can't ban. Dang it. That's my fault. Oh. That was stupid. I really, really dislike that part of his abilities. Oh, I see what you mean. You're not talking about the whitelisted champions. You're talking about those that will then be banned instead. Eh, I don't think so. There is a good chance Sinister will be banned a lot. I don't know, we might have to do something where it, like... Oh, you jerk! I was so ready to throw the special 3. And then he just threw into block anyway. If it gets to be really egregious, then we can look at reinstituting some other form of whitelist, but I think for now it's okay. That's fine. Just let it expire. Oh. Okay, and with 10 days left, I'm missing the last one by, what is that, 225 points? So I'll get it tomorrow. Cool. I'll take it. Thanks, Frequency. That is funny. I legitimately didn't look too close at the other Elijah, and I kind of just thought that you were bragging again. Oh wait, had I not grabbed it yet? Okay, cool. Then I've got all of it. Let's go. My Patriot is already duped, so this is an easy Modoc. If I can awaken him later, then cool. Okay, we've got an Awakening Gem to open right now, funnily enough. Do we have two? We have two. Cool. Let's go open our Awakening Gems. Ah, Explode Rewards. That's what it was. Thank you. Appreciate it, Blazy. I'm glad it's feeling fun. Ooh, nice. That's my rank 4 Battlecast. Wait, was that Sig 200 already? Hold on, I need to know. Do you not get max Sig rewards from a relic? Oh, that's not cool. Pardon me, I'm gonna go yell at the economy team. That stinks. I'll take Gladiator Sigs. Oh, that was a first time awakening on Gladiator, wasn't it? Yeah, he had been very elusive for me for some reason. Nice. And much loyalty shouldn't take too long. Hey, Science Gem, speak of the devil. Okay, let me have a think about science here. If this doesn't go to... Oh, it probably goes to Reed. It probably goes to Reed. Yeah, I will talk to people. We'll see what the rest of the Alliance does, but I would really like to give that to Reed. We'll see. And then who do I have left to awaken? I could give... Ooh, Captain Britain. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good pull. All right, we're going to come back to that later. Was there anything else to open? I don't think so. I'm going to have, what is that? That's 11 Titans and 1 Nexus when it rolls over. Cool. Definitely not Awakening Gentle until that's done. All right. I honestly, maybe I do need to just re-record it. I recorded a video on the 3 updates, and I was still sick, and it was too long. I think the Patriot part of it was actually quite good, but I don't know. I didn't really like the rest. I felt like I was rambling. Maybe I will re-record it. I think it'll do terribly this far after, but maybe I just need to do it anyway. We'll see. I'll make sure to get the Mr. Knight video out first. Thanks, Frequency. I'm glad it holds up. The Dupe on Iceman will help you a lot. I like Iceman. No way in heck am I spending that gem on him. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Thank you everybody for hanging out. You know what? I'll see if I can recover the deleted files, Bleezy. If not, I'll say it again. Take care, all.